Hey, Chris. Well. Good morning and Happy New Year to everyone. The meeting of the Southern University Board of Supervisors is now called to order. Now have our invocation. Mr. Vice Chair.
Good morning. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. It's really wonderful to see everybody this morning. We'd like to welcome to the microphone Reverend Shelton Dixon. Shelton Dixon is not just a pastor, but he's also a friend and a patient of mine. He is the founder and pastor of the Greater Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church here in Baton Rouge. In addition to overseeing the Greater Mount Olive family, he is a member of the 3rd District of Baton Rouge Missionary Association. He also serves as the 3rd Vice President of the Louisiana Home and Foreign Mission Baptist State Convention and the Recording Secretary of the National Baptist Convention of America, Incorporated. Good morning, Reverend Dixon.
Thank you so much. Let us pray. God, how we acknowledge you, and we thank you so much for the gift of this beautiful day here on the bluff. We seek your presence and we seek your guidance as we gather here at Southern University. We thank you for our President Chancellor. We thank you for now the new chairman-elect and for every board member who seek to serve so that Southern might be all that you would have her to be. Thank you for faculty and staff and for this wonderful student body. We ask even now that you would open the floodgates of resources so that Southern might become an even brighter light. Help us to plant trees so that our children and our children's children will have a place to sit, to study and to learn and to become all that you would have them be. Bless us as we go through this meeting today. We need you and we can't get along without you. Bless our efforts. We ask all of this in the only name that matters, and that's the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Reverend Dixon, before you be seated, we'd like to take a photo with you and offer you a certificate of appreciation, please.
Still to you, brother. Thank you, Board Member Shorty. And we really appreciate your service, your unselfishness, and your family's dedication to Southern University, because they allowed you to serve with the dignity and with the grace that you served in. And we're so ever grateful. Why don't we give our chair a round of applause? And I certainly wanted to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm happy to say that I use judgment, and that judgment oftentimes comes from when I do things right from God. So we're gonna run this institution with wisdom and with good guidance. And God, my family, my wife is here, my son is here, and they must love me. They put up with me this long. They don't know any better, so And certainly, my dear friend, thank you for coming and offering that beautiful prayer on behalf of Southern University system, Shelton Charles Dixon, Reverend Dr. Shelton Charles Dixon. Thank you very much. And at this time, I'm going to ask that we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we'll do the swearing in.
Hannah, could you come to the microphone, please? This morning, y'all, we have a very lovely young lady who I have a long relationship with because I know her parents quite well. Hannah Brister, who is a 12th grade honor student at the Southern University Laboratory School with a 3.65 GPA, who just celebrated her 18th birthday. Happy birthday, Hannah. She has attended Southern Lab for the past 4 years. She's a very conscientious student with a lot of school spirit. Currently, she is a cheer captain, a member of the Beta Club, sings in the choir. She's an SGA and a class officer. Hannah is also a student ambassador. She attends Belfair Baptist Church and is the daughter of Herman and Jessica Brister. Hannah plans to attend the Southern University in the fall and major in psychology. Good morning, Hannah.
Chairman Lawson, President Shields, members of the board, and distinguished guests, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Hannah, we also have something for you as well.
I should hand it about. Knock it out. I don't recognize it. Who said we ain't? Okay, at this time, I'm gonna defer to our distinguished law school chancellor to recognize the gentleman that's swearing in.
Thank you. Chairman Lawson, President Shields, members of this great board. I am honored to introduce Judge John Michael Guidry, who will be swearing in Chairman Lawson. Judge Guidry is a legend in Baton Rouge. Many times when I'm at the BEDR and other places that apparently he frequents also, people call me out and say, Judge. And I said, no, I'm not that John. I'm a different John. But don't feel bad because even his children and his sisters have mistaken me for him. So I have to be on my best behavior because I represent him in whatever I do. But Judge Guidry is a legend, and he will make history very, very soon because he is now going to be the chief judge of the Louisiana First Circuit Court of Appeal. He will be the first African-American to hold that particular seat. He has been a member of the legislature. He is a great speaker. You should hear him speak. In fact, he will be making the presentation to our mid-year graduates on January 21st. And you will all are getting an invitation to his investiture as chief judge of Louisiana First Circuit Court of Appeal. I don't really need to say much more because, again, he is a legend in Baton Rouge. Like I said, if I could collect the fees that he's owed, I would remit them to him and he wouldn't have to be in public service. But again, without further ado, Judge Guidry.
My wife and my son come up with they not feel change.
He's much more handsome than you. I don't know how. Raise your right hand. I
I,
state your name,
Myron K. Lawson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws of this state,
and laws of this state.
and that I will also support
And I will also support
the bylaws
the bylaws
and regulations
and regulations
of the Board of
of the
Supervisors
Board of
of the
Supervisors
Southern University
of
System,
the Southern University System.
and that I will faithfully
And I will faithfully
and
and
impartially
impartially
discharge
discharge
and perform
and perform
all the duties
all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as chairman
as chairman
of the Board of
of the
Supervisors
Board of
of the
Supervisors
Southern University System
of the Southern University System
to the best
to the best
of my ability
of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Find me somebody my height. Don't be late. Now, we have some board members returning and some phenomenal board members coming on board. And I'm gonna ask if they come up. And before that time, I'm gonna ask our beloved vice chairman to get installed, and he'll bring them up and introduce the gentleman that's also gonna install them. Thank you.
Good morning. I have the pleasure of introducing Judge Tarlo Anthony Smith, who is a native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who will be swearing in our vice chairman. Judge Smith is a 1988 graduate of Scotlandville Magnet High School. In 1991, Judge Smith received his Bachelor of Science degree in economics from Southern University and briefly worked in the banking industry in Dallas, Texas. Upon returning to Baton Rouge, he attended the Southern University Law Center, and while there, he was the executive editor of the Southern University Law Review and a member of the Moot Court Board. After receiving his Juris Doctor in 1995, Judge Smith began his legal career as a prosecutor with the East Baton Rouge Parish District Attorney's Office and continued his career as a prosecutor with the Attorney General's Office. During this time, he also maintained a private practice of law in the civil law area. In March of 2004, he was appointed to fill District 4 vacancy on the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board. He was elected to fill that seat in September of 2004 and was reelected in 2007, 2010, and 2014. He also served as vice president for the school board from 2010 to 2014. Judge Smith ascended to the judiciary in November of 2015 after winning the October 2015 election for the at-large Division C on the Baton Rouge City Court. And in October of 2019, he was elected to fill the Division A seat of the 19th Judicial District Court, where he presides over Criminal Section 5. Judge Smith.
If I can't have my lovely wife, Kara, my son, Harvey, and my brother,
I'm not as experienced as Judge Guidry, so I'm gonna read the office. And he's done more than that.
on the way up to scholarship on the fund there when you get scholarship.
You raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Ronnie Whitfield,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
that I will support the laws and Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of this state
and the Constitution and laws of this state
and the bylaws of the Southern University Board of Supervisors,
and the bylaws of the Southern University Board of Supervisors,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform the duties
discharge and perform the duty
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as Vice Chair
as Vice Chair
of the Southern University Board of Supervisors,
of the Southern University Board of Supervisors,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right. Let's give the vice chairman a round of applause again. Come on. And that this time, we're gonna get Judge Smith, if you will.
Judge Smith, if you would so be honored to swear in our new members.
And we have some returning members as well. We have to my right, board member Christy Reeves. And Ed has been trying to get me to take these keys for 2 months. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have board member Christy Reeves that was reappointed to the board, and we have board member Ann Smith that was also reappointed, and we're delighted to have them reappointed. To my left, we have a new board member. His name is Paul Matthews. And to my far left, we have board member Gaines and Ms. Maple Gaines, and we're honored to have her. And we'll have them sell us something after they get sworn in if they choose to. And we're not gonna delay it any. If you will, come forward and do not step on the seal is the rule around here, but they can get that. Thank you, Judge Smith. Yeah.
Wherever the cameraman, don't step on the shit. Say a bye. Everybody's gonna put their hand on the raise. Raise your hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ed Smith,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of this state
and the Constitution and laws of this state
and the bylaws of the Southern University Board of Supervisors,
and the bylaws of the Southern University Board of Supervisors,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform the duties
discharge and perform the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as members of the Board of Supervisors, Southern University Board of Supervisors,
members of the Southern University Board of Supervisors,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And at this time, if they'd like to tell you a little bit about themselves, we'll certainly afford them that privilege, starting with board member Gaines. We'll start with Board Member Matthews.
Thank you.
Is it Larry the King's here? Is it on? Oh, okay, well, great. All right, well, first, this is truly an honor and a privilege, and I'd like to thank the Southern University Board of Supervisors for this opportunity. I thought about what I would say many times, and the only thing I could think of was, well, I guess I'm SWAC now, so glad to be here. I'm always tell people I'm just a kid from uptown New Orleans and worked hard and had an opportunity to do so many things, and it's a pleasure to be here. My hope is that I do all that I can to add value to Southern University everywhere I can, to learn, to listen, to grow, and help in any way. And so I'm really appreciative of this opportunity, of this honor, and of this privilege. And again, to the Board of Supervisors, my colleagues, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe he is going to introduce you. So if he lets you say something, it's whatever you want to say. If you want to say anything, Board Member Maple Gaines.
Good morning. I appreciate the opportunity to serve. I'm a Southern University graduate, 1969. I'm from Lake Providence, Louisiana. I've done a lot of things, and I give credit to Southern University for many of the things I was able to accomplish. I remember my days. I came early yesterday and just drove around the campus and just thought about the influence that Southern had in my life, which I passed on to my children. And I'm just so excited about serving. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome aboard. And to my right, if you all would like to say anything, you're welcome. Board Member Ann Smith.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to say I am Ann Smith. I'm from Kentwood, Louisiana. I am a graduate of Southern University in 1969 and again in 1972. And it has been an honor and a pleasure to serve on the board for 2 terms. This will be my 3rd term. Thanks for welcoming me back. And it is a pleasure to be a servant for the system and for our students and administrators at Southern University. Thank you, and I'm glad to be back.
I'm Christy Reeves. I'm here in the Baton Rouge area. I work with Ochsner Health. This is the beginning of my 2nd term, and I am just delighted to be back and work with so many talented and amazing people, from the board to the faculty to the students. So I'm honored to serve and grateful for the opportunity.
Great. Give Christy a round of applause. Okay, we have some special presentations, and hopefully they're standing very near with them. Chairman, would you come up? Immediate past chair, Ed Shorty. He's been confusing.
He's been confused all the time.
We have something here that, and I'll tell all the good things about him, and this is an appreciation for all the phenomenal things he's done. I'm not going to try to take this out of here because it's too beautiful to drop, but we love you and we appreciate your service. You can show it to him. Also have a last plaque for this chair. There's this, so.
This is what I get when Myron takes my parking spot.
Hey, man.
We dismissed all those tickets you left. Okay. I'd also like to recognize a young lady that we're blessed. I think she's going to try to make it. Hadia Claxton is in the audience. She represents. Why don't you come say hello? Come up and say hello and tell them what she does. And she's a very distinguished young lady, and we're proud to have her. And I'm gonna ask you, walking here, another gentleman at the podium, I want to recognize, raise your hand up, is a dear friend of mine named Attorney Malcolm Larverdane. I think he might be a little related to him. So maybe you can recognize the newlyweds up here. And they didn't want me to come to the wedding because they scheduled it on Bayou Classic weekend. I did. Thank you. Good seeing you.
Good morning. I'm very pleased to be here. Just to let everyone know what I do. So I am the Chief Legal Officer and Global General Counsel of McElhenney Company, Tabasco brand. In addition to that, I am an ambassador for the country of St. Kitts and Nevis. So I am a diplomat for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So that is a new post. I did grow up in St. Kitts and Nevis, although I'm originally from New York. But it has been my honor to be able to serve that country. And I'm proud to be able to do so. And congratulations to all of you from McElhenney Company, from our president and CEO as well, who was not able to be here today. But I do want to extend heartfelt congratulations. Hopefully in the future, we can do some business with Southern.
We look very much forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Okay, Board Member Smith.
Thank you. I see my daughter and my granddaughter, also my niece, came in late, and I'd just like to thank them for taking the time to come out. My daughter is Joyce Smith. My granddaughter is Hannah Smith, and she's a Southern University Laboratory cheerleader and student who loves Southern. And of course, my niece came all the way from Houston, Texas to just share and be with us today. And I would like to recognize them. Thank you.
They must love you too.
They love
Thank you so much. And keeping in line with the Larverdanes, I see my state representative Larverdane was him, Edward Larverdane. I don't know if there he is. Let's give him a round of applause. Another Southern University grad, and he proudly wears that, and he's a strong supporter in the legislature, as the president will tell you, whenever it comes to Southern University. So we're very, very blessed to have him. I know I'm probably going to miss someone, but we have business to do. So if there's anyone I miss, please let me know so I can blame everybody else on the platform. So at this time, we're going to move, and we're going to go into the Academic Affairs Committee. And I'm going to ask the chair of that committee, Mr. Sam Gilliam, to take charge of it. Mr. Gilliam.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And again,
Thank you.
Congratulations to our recently elected chairman,
Thank
Mr.
you
Lawson,
so much.
recently elected vice chairman, Dr. Whitfield, and a special commendation, thanks and appreciation to indeed our immediate past chair, Mr. Edmund Shorty, who we appreciate your sacrifice of time, effort. Young man, we traveled all the way to Shreveport, I believe, for many of our events, and we love you there, and we'll always remember. Thanks to our returning board members too, Mrs. Reeves and Mrs. Smith, and of course, welcoming to the Southern University family. Mrs. Gaines, it's a pleasure to have you a part of our family again. And Mr. Matthews, again, welcome and pleasure to have you. We have already, I believe, Mr. Chairman, been called to order. Have we not? Okay. We're at the point, I believe, what we need to have to make this official, a roll call, if you would, vote. Mr. President, would you please give us a roll call vote?
Absolutely, Chair. Mr. Myron Lawson.
Present.
Ms. Christy Reeves. Dr. Orlandis Williams. Attorney Edwin Shorty. Mr. Sam Gilliam.
Present.
Dr. Leon Tarver. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Did I miss something? Okay. Yes. No, it's changed. It's been updated. He was asking of the composition of a committee. It's flexible. It's a live document.
Right.
Constantly changing. Yeah. The next order of business, of course, is the adoption of the agenda. But before moving there, we have already deleted, I believe, 2 items under 5F 5C and 5D. So we'll move and chair is open for a motion to adopt the agenda. Been moved by Ms. Reeves and second by Dr. Alana, that our agenda would be adopted as before us. Those in favor, please let it be known by sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Hearing none. The agenda is thus adopted. We move to item number 7, public comments. Are there any public comments that are specific to anything in the agenda of the Academic Affairs Committee? Seeing no one approach the podium, are there from staff? Do we have any that we have received email wise? Hearing none, we move on to the one action item that we have. And that revolves a request for approval of a dance certificate program from the College of Humanities and Interdisciplinary Studies. Before we solicit a motion, would I ask Dr. Sahu, is there someone, or would you like to give us a gist of what this is? Because at first look, there might be a question asked to indeed whether the academic integrity of this proposal is intact. I'd like for you to address it or appoint someone to simply make some statements regarding it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, President Chancellor and Chair of the Board of Supervisors and members of the Board of Supervisors. One of the things that has changed in terms of how we look at outcomes in the state is credentials, not just degrees. So the state of Louisiana, the Board of Regents is looking towards having more 60% of the adult population of Louisiana to have credentials by 2030. And as part of that has required all institutions to provide, in addition to degrees, credentials. And we are developing programs that are more related to economic development, but we also are looking at culture and aesthetics and something consistent with our HBCU legacy. And so what happens is students not only get a degree, but students can choose to take a set of 5 courses, and in addition to getting a degree, also get a certificate. And in some areas, it enhances their ability to understand and appreciate life and enhance their quality of life and people around them, the aesthetics and the culture of the communities they belong to. On the other hand, they also get a set of certificates that equip them to be employed in, to be more gainfully employed in productive areas of the economy. So this particular certificate, you have already approved last time, certificates that are more targeted towards employment and competitive employment. You did that for SUNO in terms of cybersecurity, but this is an opportunity for the College of Humanities and Disciplinary Studies to develop a set of programs. They take a set of courses while they're taking degrees, but this also allows us to have persons in the community to come and take these courses and earn a certificate in dance and dance certificate program and related programs. So I'll be happy to take any questions.
Well, I know there's been a concern previously about resurrecting our performing arts.
Yes.
It's good to see the university moving in this direction again.
Yes, sir.
Because we've had a concern as to about our art programs, some of our music programs. There was a concern that, especially in music education, the concern we weren't getting enough, if any, graduates out of there. But this appears to address at least a start in that direction, because it seems to be emphasizing, I believe, what the history and the theory of dance, things like that. For your satisfaction, board members, it's not one of those. When I first looked at it, I thought it might be one of those kind of, where you just simply shake a tail feather kind of a thing, dance certificate, but it is not.
No, it's not.
It has
Thank you.
academic integrity. And if you have the concern, part of their prospectus states that under student outcomes,
Yes,
this is a legitimate academic pursuit. And I think as a body and as a committee, we want to make sure that that's.
It is. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I couldn't have expressed it better. Thank you.
Okay, it has been moved by Dr. Williams and second by Mrs. Reeves, that indeed this program, action item number 8A, would be approved. Those in favor, please let it be known by sign of aye. Aye. Opposes nay. Hearing none. Action item 8A is thus approved. We move then
Thank
to item number 9, informational items. Are there any other informational items to be brought before the Academic Affairs Committee? Hearing none, we move to item we do have.
No, Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry,
I
sir.
just wanted to
I'm sorry.
request that the Roger Kadar presentation, if we could put it on the February agenda. He sends his apologies. He's out of the country and he's had 4 consecutive flights canceled. And as soon as they can get him out is tomorrow, hopefully. And so that's the only reason why that he's not here. And he asked me to convey his sincere apologies. And if we can do it next month.
Thank you very much for that explanation. And we look forward to having Coach Cato with us. I call him my homeboy, my adopted homeboy, for sure. Any other business to be brought? before the Academic
If
Affairs
you will, Mr. Chair, I'd like to recognize a young lady that often gets overlooked in our hometown. And she's phenomenal here, and she's even more phenomenal among others that may not know her well. And I want to take time to give her some of the credit that's due her, because I understand she's in the audience. And I'm talking about my dear friend I've known many, many years, Representative Dr. Barbara Carpenter. Will you stand up, please? And let's show her some love. And we're certainly going to afford you an opportunity to say hello or whatever you would like to say.
Good morning and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for so many things.
Sir, not only in the legislature, but on this campus here at Southern University. So I see how you do. Marvin, and your
Yeah.
So you work very carefully and diligently for Southern University and the state legislature. Marvin might have told you that you a flush of money coming in. And I will be getting it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to yield, and then I'm going to end up with our law school chancellor. He has a very special guest here, but before that, Vice Chair.
Yes, we have, I guess we could put this Sam under other business. It was supposed to go under the special presentations.
Sure.
And while I'm talking, Mr. Bristol, if you could approach the podium. I've been neglected, I think, in the last couple of years of not recognizing the really wonderful things that are happening at Southern University Laboratory School. So we have a presentation and just some brief words. The school just recently celebrated its centennial year, which culminated with a gala of more than 700 attendees. The gala was phenomenal. I was the master of ceremonies along with one of the teachers at the school, Carissa Cropper. The fundraising goal for the centennial year was 100,000 to commemorate the 100 years. The school had 500 gifts and raised more than $176,000 during the 2022 school year. As you're aware, Southern University Lab School has a virtual school within its system that presently holds the highest school performance score of all statewide virtual schools from the 2021-2022 school year. Due to the amazing academic strides they have made since 2019, the virtual school was named a Louisiana Comeback Campus by the Louisiana Department of Education. The school will receive a visit and banner from the state superintendent, Dr. Cade Brumley, on January 31st, 2023, in a very small ceremony. These are just a few of the highlighted events of all of the great things happening at the lab school, particularly under the guidance of Mr. Brister. We're excited to celebrate them and the phenomenal things they're doing for our students, our families, and our community. For more detailed information, you have a document that should be passed out to you all on your tables that will outline some of the great things that have happened at the school. And Mr. Brister, take it from there.
I think at this time it's appropriate to start the video State of the Lab School that Dr. Whitfield has asked to be presented.
Good nation, Dad War Nation. I'm Dr. Ryan Whitfield, Vice Chairman for the Southern University Board of Supervisors and Chair of the Southern University Laboratory. I would like to congratulate you kids for celebrating this in your year. The gala was a huge success, and I truly enjoyed working with this terrific product and seeing all of them stakeholders doors in my 100-year celebration. The laboratory school has experienced a 35% enrollment increased in 2017. One of our priorities is promoting good enrollment and many of the kids have taken full advantage of this opportunity. Some have graduated with 30+ college hours, thus immersing them in the college setting in early grade. Currently, Southern Labs is a priority in the Southern University System National Plan. We're having serious dialogue about building a new state-of-the-art facility for the kids, thus providing students with robust opportunities to grow academically, socially, and athletically. As we finalize these discussions, current plans are underway to prepare and upgrade courses for the students. This will include, but not be limited to, walkways, restrooms, dressing rooms, and lighting. Also, all students have received new Chromebooks, and we've upgraded the classrooms with new active boards. Finally, I would like to introduce the rector at Southern University Lab School of Law, Carmen Brickman, as he will discuss the state of the lab school, upcoming community university, and system partners, financing campaigns, and the chief. Hello, my name is Herman, the director of Southern University Lab School. I want to first say happy birthday to my alma mater. That's right, we've turned 100 years old this year. Holding on to our feeling of scholarship, legacy, family, and spirit, we're excited to see our school still standing strong well into the 21st century. Academically, Southern Lab still holds a B rating per state of Louisiana. We would like to take this time to congratulate Dorothy Seals for being selected by her peers as teacher of the year. Ms. Seals teaches middle school math and has been here for the past 6 years. Congratulations, Ms. Seals. Next, we would like to celebrate our virtual school, who has grown a total of 26 points since 2018. I'm happy to announce that they have earned a C rating by the state of Louisiana. Congratulations to United States and her team. We'd also like to thank our business partner, Strive, for their continued commitment to student schooling. As a result of their hard work and dedication to student achievement, Louisiana State Superintendent Dr. Kate Berman has named our virtual school of the Louisiana Combat Camp. Our virtual school is now the top performing statewide virtual school in Louisiana. We would like to also commend our senior beta club on executing a toy drive to benefit needy families. Our students brought new unwrapped toys to brighten the lives of young children, to feed into our pillar of family at the laboratory school. Recently, in partnership with the YMCA, 19 of our students ranging from grades 7 to 11 participated in state youth and government conference, acting as state senators and representatives, learning about the process of being a legislator. Next, I would like to congratulate Miss Southern High, Chelsea Phillips. She earned the National Congressional Award for volunteerism. She has spearheaded book drive, raised elementary school children, and is a published author. We're excited to be in discussions with Dr. Calvin Matthews, Villanova, and the College of Science and Engineering, both of partnering to bring STEM-based activities, programs, and events not only to play our laboratory schools, but to the North Valley community as well. We have also extended the classroom to partner with the University of Lawson for the Moot Court and Mock Trial competition. Students are receiving early exposure to the judicial system as they engage in real life court experience. We are excited to announce on this day the laboratory school family raised over $50,000, helping us to reach our goal of $100,000. I would like to send a shout out to the class of 62 for being the most financially supportive class. This year, our alumni have initiated the University Laboratory School Alumni Association. Congratulations, Ms. Armstrong. She has been selected as the first president. Our playground has been fenced in, and we're now during our fundraising campaign to sell custom colors for the fence that surrounds the playground. Enrollment for the 23-24 school year is now open. I want to thank the State University Board of Supervisors, President Shields, Dr. Sahu, Dr. Peoples for their continued leadership and guidance. I would also like to extend gratitude to the State University Laboratory School Advisory Board and Board of Education Board, as well as for the lab faculty and staff for their commitment to advance our institute. We're always excited about the opportunity to educate students, impact the community, and provide a world-class experience to all the stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brister.
As you saw in the video, we have some great things going on at the lab school. Enrollment is going up. The students are phenomenal. Former Chair Lady Ann Smith, your grandbaby, she's having a great time every time I see her in the hallway. She's smiling. It's important for us to really make sure that we stay connected with the Southern University system. I tell individuals all the time, you cannot say laboratory school without Southern University. And so when you talk about the School of Education, the College of Business, the Law Center, the Ag Center, and so forth and so on, it's important for us to make sure that our students have complete access to those different areas. And those departments heads have been very gracious in allowing us access, and will continue to have access to those different areas. I would like to quickly shout out before I sit down our virtual school, and we have, I know, a presentation from Dr. Whitfield coming soon, Ms. Nadia Washington Seals and Mr. Story. I often tell my faculty, we do not have problems, we have opportunities. And when I arrived 7 years ago, the virtual school was an opportunity. And Ms. Seals and her team took the bull by the horn and really guided the ship. It was not performing well from an enrollment standpoint and from an academic standpoint. And over the study course of the past 6 years, we now can say state claim that we have the best statewide virtual school in Louisiana. And we're starting to get calls from other virtual schools in terms of what have we done, what has she done to close the achievement gap and improve student outcomes. And I just cannot emphasize enough how important it is for me to have her on my right hand to make sure that we're guiding the ship for student outcomes at the laboratory school. Can y'all please give Ms. Seal a round of applause? Quickly, the support staff at Southern University, don't want to name any names, but again, Ms. Smith, you talk about above and beyond. I know when I call many of the support staff on campus, they answer the ring on the first time. And they do not what's best for Herman Bristol, but what's best for our students. And our students are benefiting from that greatly. It's important to me and important to our staff to continue to make our president and chancellor proud and this board proud. We're going to continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. We can very quickly have Mrs. Nadia Seals and Mr. Kara Story come forward. Again, their hard work at SU Lab has been amazing. And as a result of their commitment to the excellence, our virtual school, again, is now the top statewide virtual school in Louisiana. I don't know if you guys realize how important it is, but very significant achievement. You guys come forward, please.
To say while everyone is making their way back, Mr. Brister, you and your staff at Southern Lab, you always make us so proud. Even as far away as Shreveport, we're always touting the fact that not only are you exhibiting athletic prowess, you're also exhibiting academic excellence. And we compare that to the schools in our area. And even that far away, we're so proud of what you do and we appreciate your sacrifice. Indeed. Mr. Lawson, I believe you were.
Yes, if you will, I would like you to recognize our law school chancellor again. He has a very distinguished guest in our presence. Judge. I mean, Chancellor.
Good morning again. Thank you. This week, prior to the students coming back to the Law Center next week for classes, we have the privilege of having students being exposed to intellectual property, mergers and acquisitions, deal making, trial activities by through a partnership with AbbVie Corporation. AbbVie is one of the world's largest pharmaceuticals and healthcare company. You may remember a company by the name of Abbott Labs. So AbbVie is a byproduct of the Abbott Labs history. And we were very, very fortunate to have become connected with Joy Monahan, who is the Chief Diversity Officer over legal services for AbbVie and a native of Baton Rouge, a graduate of Baton Rouge High School. And she started talking about things that she wanted to do with us. And her with the other partner, the two Joys, have done programming to help bring our students into the world of AbbVie from the standpoint of healthcare as well as legal. And this week she was able to bring about 30 attorneys from around the country, mostly Chicago, a firm called Kirkland and Ellis, one of the most prestigious law firms in America, to talk about these things with our students. And we have about a total of over 60 something students right now getting that experience. Part of this is because actually Ms. Nadia Foster 3 years ago, when she came to the Law Center, started talking about pushing different opportunities for our students, because prior to coming to law school, she had been in a law firm in a support role, and she always used to try to sit in the back and sneak out of class, but I always would get more out of her than she expected. And this is all basically driven by students. So I would like Ms. Monahan to come and talk a little bit about what's going on in the partnership between Southern University Law Center, AbbVie, and the Southern University system.
Hi, welcome. Thank you all for having me here. It is just such an honor. I'm Joy Monahan. I am a Baton Rouge girl. I went to Baton Rouge High I graduated in 1987. I currently live in Chicago now. After 25 years of practicing law, I now lead the diversity efforts at AbbVie Legal. We have a team of 170 lawyers. And as Chancellor Pierre said, when I met him a couple of years ago, I've been in this role for about 2 years now. We wanted to find ways how we could showcase how amazing these Southern students are, because we know they are. But, you know, as he says, you got to meet them. Once you meet them, everyone loves them. So how do we get them to meet them? And so, you know, these past 2 years, we've been designing ways. This is like one of our first little pilots. How do we get our lawyers, and not just the AbbVie lawyers, but how do we get the big law firms that we use to come down here and meet these students, work with these students, become mentor with these students? And so today is day 2 of that. We started yesterday. I have 12 AbbVie attorneys down here, including 3 of our vice presidents. We have 3 legal academies, a 3-day trial academy. Again, you know, learning the mechanics. I have 6 attorneys from Kirkland, flying from New York, Chicago, and LA here to do that. We have the 1-day deal academy. How do you negotiate term sheets? 3 lawyers from New York, and my entire deal team of AbbVie lawyers. So all 5 of them are down here, and also our head of IP, 2 of their lawyers, and 9 additional lawyers from Baker Donaldson and DLA Piper here. And again, we had about we've got almost 70 people here, students that are giving up their holidays to come to meet these attorneys. So this is the first. We hope to do more. And just again, thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Will there be any other business to be brought before the Academic Affairs Committee? It's been moved that we adjourn, and second by Ms. Reeves. Those in favor, please let it be known by sign of aye. Opposed, nay. We are thus adjourned. Thank you so very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll go directly into Facilities and Property Committee and ask that you call to order your committee, Mr. Gilliam again.
Facilities and Property Committee is hereby called to order. Again, Mr. President, would you give us a roll call?
Absolutely. Mr. Myron Lawson,
Present.
Dr. Leon Tarver II, Attorney Edwin Shorty, Mr. Sam Gilliam.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The next order of business is the adoption of the agenda. And what is your pleasure? Been moved by Mr. Shorty, seconded by Mr. Dr. Tarver, for the approval of the or adoption rather of the agenda. Those in favor, please let it be known by sign of aye. Opposers, nay. Hearing none, our agenda is thus adopted. Moving to item number 4, public comments. Are there any public comments germane or specific to anything in the Facilities and Property Committee agenda? Seeing no one approach, we will move on down to item number 5. We have a single action item today, but it is the most important one. And right on cue. And by the way, before we get to the action item, if you notice a glow on Ken Dawson today, there's a reason why. He has just had his second grandchild.
Yes. Thank
Future
you.
Southernites.
Definitely a future Southernite. Yeah. Thank you,
very much.
Chairman Gillum, to President Shields and our new chairman. Very happy to be here. Former Chairman Shorty, enjoy working with you, and to all our new elected board members. Very excited about what's happening in the in our facilities projects that we have on campus. This action item that we need to take care of today is something that you've done several before. It's the Act 959 project, and in that it allows our campuses to engage into a project that's under $5 million and that's funded by self-generated funds. After approval from the Facility Committee and also the board, we will move forward to getting this up to the Board of Regents, then to the Division of Administration, FP&C, and then to the Joint Legislative Committee for a final approval of the budget. But the project. What I would like to happen now is for Chancellor McMeans to kind of explain a little bit more about the project. Is in his area, and he could give you the details and answer any questions.
Dr. McMeans,
Yes.
get him turned on over there, please, sir.
All right, thank you. First of all, Mr. Chairman, if you would allow me to thank Mr. Dawson. We've had some stagnant projects in recent years, and he made his presence known. No nonsense, and he definitely represents the Southern University system well. So I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge him for the things that he's doing, not only for the Ag Center, for the entire system. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The project that we're speaking of is the expansion of our meat lab. The vice chairman and I had a conversation about one of the problems that was elucidated about during the pandemic, and that was with the meat processing. It caused bottlenecks, prices to go up. You saw that at the store, especially in 2020, 2021. And what this is going to allow us to do is to expand our classroom and our processing spaces. And this 1.6 million hopefully is just a drop in the bucket. President Shields and I had an opportunity to thank the Secretary of Agriculture and Dr. Toombs, who is the NIFA director, personally for this 1.6, and at the same time asking them for 3.7 more $1 million. So to expand other efforts. But this is very important, and the two stakeholders that we hope to impact, of course, are our students and also the farmers who need this type of training. So it would be on the academic and the outreach side. And this effort will be led by Mr. Curtis Chisley, Dr. Ulysses Toledo, and of course, Dr. Calvin Walker. And so we're very excited about this project, and we're ready to do whatever it takes to get it moving. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Please, sir.
I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the leadership that Chancellor McMeans and his team. There was a very short window of opportunity to apply for this grant. They put it together and we're able to have this opportunity as a direct result of the extraordinary work of his leadership and his leadership team.
Indeed. But I think we need to make a commendation and observation here too. Dr. McMeans, coupled with Ken Dawson, and indeed the venerable Miss Simone. Is she in the chamber today?
I don't think she was here this morning. She's not here this morning.
She's not here today. But you know, we have the saying that indeed the projects that have been touched here, especially this particular project, which is a win-win. It doesn't cost us, I don't believe, any state funds. It comes from either generated, in this case, grants.
Yeah. They
They were instrumental. You know, the joke is kind of around Dr. McMeans that we've got all these strong new board members. We have all these strong staff members. You know, the joke is, you know, Dr. McMeans with a phone call can generate $4 million for a project just by making a phone call. He has USDA experience. He's worked there. And of course, Ken Dawson, throughout the system, Dr. McMeans alluded to it. It's not just the Shreveport campus or the Baton Rouge campus or the New Orleans campus or the center. Ken has literally worked all around the system. We met every deadline for our capital projects, Mr. President, this time around. And we have to say commendations to Ken and the staff for that. I think we ought to give them an applause for that. All right. Unless there are other questions, Chair is open for a motion on this on action item. It's been moved by Dr. Tarver, I believe, Dr. Tarver, and second by Mr. Amity. That indeed, action item number 5A, dealing with Act 957 will be approved. Those in favor, please let me know by sign of aye. Aye, opposed nay. Thank you. Hearing none, this item is thus approved. Again, congratulations, Dr. McMeans, Ken, and give our regards again to Ms. Simone, would you please?
Yes, sir.
Informational item. So I think we still keep you there.
Yes,
Ken, if you
yes,
don't mind.
sir. Just real quickly, the second sheet that you see attached is kind of a bar graph of schedule. And what I'm doing is trying to present basically the status of projects at a glance, okay? Where you can see where we are, is it in design, or if it's in going out for bids, or if in construction. This graph right now is not all inclusive, but as you would notice down at the lower part, there are 5 other projects that recently were added. You guys, this board approved that for Act 959 projects. Those projects have gone to selection committee with the architects, and we have been meeting currently, doing programming and moving forward with these new projects. Another thing that happened very recently was selection committee that was accomplished dealing with the union, dealing with the dorm, that project, which is HBCU funding. We've had one meeting with the architect this week, moving forward with the project. We have a second meeting on the union next week. So these things are moving forward rapidly, and we're glad to see that. The next thing I want to announce is that we have a couple of selection committees coming up this month. On the 18th, we will be going to architecture selection for Dr. Peening's projects at his campus. So, and that's for the gym. And that's for his Workforce Development Center, which he's very anxious about. So we will have architects on board doing that. And we were going again, Dr. Peening, going through programming and that. So I'll be making some more trips to Shreveport. So becoming very familiar with that drive. So, and the next thing is the outdoor amphitheater and classroom here on this campus. That selection committee is done by the landscape architect group. That is also will be selected this month. So that project will have architects and engineers involved with getting that project done. So I just want to say that we have a wealth of projects moving forward. Current projects are still going. The STEM building, the business building, those things are still moving forward very rapidly. And I think that in the next 2 to 3 years, you know, SU campus, along with some things that Suno working with Dr. Ammons and some things there, and also Sussler, it will look like a construction site. It will be quite exciting though. So with that, sir, I yield.
Indeed. Mr. Fundell may have a question for you.
Yes.
Mr. Dawson, thanks for your report. My question is with regards to
the Gateway project. I know we pass it each day we drive up on campus.
Yes.
Is that a part of the plans you were talking about? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
included in there also? And if so,
Yes.
when are we looking to break ground?
Yes, sir. The Gateway project is included. We were moving forward with getting the project done. We found out that there was an application submitted with DOTD. DOTD denied the application of the location of that actual gateway. So we are working with them, and we're working also with CPEX and their engineers along with the foundation of trying to get exactly where that needs to go. In fact, I have a meeting on that, I think is next week. So so we are moving forward. That is a focus because as you know, and we talked about it a bit, with everything going down Harding, making sure that we have something that definitely indicates a sense of place is very important. So it is moving forward. We're working on it.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. Any other, Ms. Fall? Ms. Foster?
I don't, am I on? Okay.
Yes,
Hi, Mr. Dawson. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know that we talked about parking and funds moving from P3 to P1. Are there any updates on that, or should I see you another time?
Yeah, you probably should see me another time, but we are.
All right.
We are working. Parking is something that we definitely understand, and there's some conversations that being had about how we address it. And of course, you know, in the master plan, it calls for a parking garage. And the thing is, how do we get the funding, you know, in place to be able to do it? So there are discussions going on with that.
I guess I'll call Representative Larverdane too. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Foster, for the question. Any other questions? I think too, again, I'd like to commend, especially for the benefit of the new members. I think you will appreciate the fact that the Office of Facilities and Planning here has changed to a color graphic update, which helps us all graphically look at this. This has previously been presented to us, I believe, in spreadsheet form, Excel specifically.
Yes.
And if you were not comfortable working with spreadsheet, well, you had a lot of work to do. The color graphic kind of says to you graphically where we are on each of the programs within the system. So thanks. And
welcome,
if
sir.
indeed board members have any updates or concerns about that, please, Senator Ken,
Please call me.
by all means.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, we move to item number 7, other business. Any other business brought before the Facilities and Properties? If not, we move to item number 8, adjournment. What is your pleasure? Been moved and seconded by Mr. Amity, Dr. Tarver. We will consider ourselves adjourned. Those in favor, please let it be known by sign of aye. Opposers, nay. The Facilities and Planning Committee is adjourned. Mr. Chairman, and we thank you for your tolerance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And you know, our schools, this system is in a very good space now. And Board Member Foster, we hear you, Board Member Dawson and I talked about the lighting. And we're not gonna let that rest. We're gonna get an update on parking at the next meeting. Make sure we have that on the agenda. And the concerns about the lighting, I know there's something that works on lighting, so I'm excited about that. And we have to thank Representative Larverdane, as we said, and they asked me when was I surprised about all the construction going on in the building on the campus. And I told him no. I said, because Representative Barbara is a carpenter. You'll figure it out. With that, man, Finance Committee, I'm asking the Chair of Finance to take control of that committee. Chair Lady Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. I would like to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Absolutely. Mr. Sam Gilliam, Ms. Christy Reeves, Attorney Des Moines Rutledge, Dr. Leon Tarver II, Attorney Edwin Shorty, Dr. Orlando Williams,
Present.
and Mr. Myron Lawson. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Ms. Reeves, second by Mr. Gilliam. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Are there any public comments? Item 5, informational item. The interim financial reports are within your packet. Is there any other business to be brought forth before this committee? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. There's a motion by Mr. Shorty, second by Mr. Gilliam, and we stand adjourned.
All right. Impressive. Trying to keep that committee. All right. Next is the Personnel Affairs Committee, and I'm actually the chair of that committee, Dr. Leon Tarver, call that committee to order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. President, your roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Raymond Fondell, Attorney Jody Amade, Reverend Samuel Tolbert, Dr. Orlando Williams, Attorney Edwin Shorty, Dr. Leon Tarver II.
Here.
Ms. Christy Reeves. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. May we have a motion to adopt the agenda? Then probably moved and second that we adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor, let me know the sign of aye. Those opposed, thank you. Item number 4, public comments. I have a card from Dean Donald Andrews of our business school. Dr. Andrews, are you present? Yes, please. Would you state the item that you wish to address on the agenda, please?
Action item E, positions 9 and 14.
Yes, sir, please go.
Yes, we'd just like to appreciate the collaboration that we have with the Southern University Law Center. And also with SUBR in terms of President Shields and Vice Chancellor Sahu approved the Alliant Insurance program agenda, $1.3 million. And we're moving forward on that agenda. I just want to appreciate the support of SUBR as well as the support of Southern University Law Center. They're going to advance this agenda by basically appointing 2 faculty positions in the Insurance Law and Policy Institute. So this is a great collaboration. And basically, we're going to change the agenda as far as the insurance industry is concerned in terms of developing a degree program. I know we have at least 2 board members that are appreciative of the importance of the insurance industry. And I just want to say congratulations to our College of Business alumnus in terms of the new chairman. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, as well as Mr. Fondell, who do great work in supporting the college in terms of our insurance program. We've been working on this agenda for about 10 years. If you would allow, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Tarver, if I could let Mr. Sherman Pittman just say a few words. I know we don't have much time, but we've been working on this project for 10 years. And the chancellor of the law school has really been great in terms of advancing this program. And they've been working diligently to move this agenda forward.
Sure.
Quickly, guys. And as I want to say, we won't be with you long, as Liz Taylor once told her 8th husband. So don't worry, we won't be here long.
Not gonna keep it long.
Good morning, everyone. By the way, I'm a 1968 graduate of Dillon University. Was recruited by Citizen Roebuck right out of college. Was with Sears about 7 months before I was drafted into the United States Army. And while in the Army, I decided I didn't want to go back to Sears because I didn't like weekend work. So I ended up with Pan American Life Insurance Company. So May of 1971, I've been in the insurance industry. I came to Southern University in 2010. And at that time, they were teaching one course in insurance where I created a concentration in insurance risk management. And about 8 years ago, Doc? About 8 years ago. So we have improved that in course because when I came, we didn't have many students had that much interested in insurance. And then since I've been there, we average about 30 students per semester who take our concentration. So I thank Dr. Andrews and Dr. G for supporting the program, and also Mr. Fondell and the Department of Insurance, by the way. We thank all these entities in helping us advance this course. And we're looking forward to make strides in providing opportunities for our students in the insurance industry.
Good.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I heard. I'm sorry, is it Reverend Talbot?
5A 1, 2, 1 and 2.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly moved in second that we adopt action item 5A, 1 and 2. Any questions? All of those in favor of the on the sign of aye. Those opposed? Don't have it. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I would ask adoption of 5B, C, D, and E.
I get a second.
Second.
Been probably moved in second that we adopt action item 5B, C, D, and E. Is that the entire? Yes. All of those in favor, let it know on the sign of aye. Those opposed? So have it.
That's right.
But it takes us to the end of our agenda. Is there any informational item 6?
Dr. Tarver,
Yes, sir. Mr.
I'm sorry, the other business,
I'm sorry.
when we go to the next one.
Okay. So we move to action item 7 of the business. You have something?
Yeah,
Mr.
I just
Tondell?
want to acknowledge Dean Andrews for the work that he's done over at the business school. The insurance program it's a program that they've been working on, him and Dr. Pittman for many years. I've had opportunities over the years to go there and to actually be able to speak to the students in the risk management department over there. So just want to encourage you and just continue doing the good work. So thank you so much for what you do.
Any other further comment under 7? If not, may I have a motion to adjourn? And moved by Ms. Reed and seconded by Ms. Dominique. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Don't have it. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Tarver. Now we'll go directly into the Southern University Board of Supervisors meeting following the Personnel Committee meeting. I'm going to ask the Secretary of the Board, Mr. President, call the roll.
Attorney Jody Amity.
Here.
Ms. Zazelle Dudley. Mr. Raymond Fondell.
Here.
Ms. Nadia Foster. Ms. Maple Gaines. Mr. Sam Gilliam. Mr. Paul Matthews. Ms. Christy Reeves.
Here.
Attorney Des Moines Rutledge.
Here.
Attorney Edwin Shorty.
Here.
Mrs. Ann Smith. Dr. Leon Tarver II.
Here.
Reverend Samuel Tolbert.
Here.
Dr. Orlando Williams. Mr. Myron K. Lawson.
Present.
And Dr. Ronnie Whitfield.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 3 is the adoption of the agenda. Are there any modifications to the agenda as printed? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for the adoption of the agenda. Moved by Board Member Dr. Tarver, properly seconded by Attorney Rutledge. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 4, public comments. Are there any public comments pertinent to the agenda as adopted? Seeing no one approach the podium, I'll go to item number 5, special presentations. Above and beyond award. Go ahead, Vice Chairman.
Brother Lawson, before we go any further, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege. Today, guys, is the 1-month anniversary since the tragic jukebox tragedy, the accident. Remember the 3 young men, Broderick Moore, Dylan Young, and Tyron Williams. The Southern University Foundation has created a seated fund that's online through the foundation. So if anyone is interested in helping and supporting those families, it would be amazing if you would do that. I was able to attend the funeral of Dylan Young, found out in the process, Dylan Young was one of the scholarship recipients. I did not know who he was. Dylan Young was the nephew of a childhood friend, and I was in his parents' wedding. Attended the funeral for Dylan on Friday, the week of, they had 3 funerals that week. And all mothers were there in support of each other. The Jaguar Nation was there, well represented, wearing his button today in honor of him and those 3. But today is the 1-month anniversary. We do have a fund that is set up by the foundation, and it was seated by the foundation, but there's been donations already going in. So if anyone is interested, please look that up online and donate to them, and just keep the families in your prayers. And I appreciate that moment, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Item number 5, special presentations, A, above and beyond award. Okay, we're gonna ask that Mrs. Tracy Abraham come forward and introduce us to the recipient.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Tracy Abraham, and I serve as the Director of Residential Life and Housing on the Baton Rouge campus. And today I have the pleasure of introducing the recipient of the Above and Beyond Award. I tried to nominate my entire staff, but of course I was told I could not do that. I had to choose one person because oftentimes in housing we do a lot of good, and sometimes all the good is not recognized, and we might get recognized for the small things that we don't do. However, today I want to recognize my entire staff that's here. Could you please stand, please? These are my residential directors. So we have a motto in housing that we never close, and I'm sure board members from New Orleans remember a restaurant that was called We Never Close. I don't know if you remember that restaurant, but we never close, and we serve our students 365 days a year if we can, because they are always here. But today I have the honor of introducing the Above and Beyond recipient, which is Rachanel Green. Her name is Rachanel Green, but we call her Shelly and Rochelle. She does not go by her given name. She started as a student at Southern University, and she worked as a student resident assistant in housing in her matriculation through school. She then was hired as a residential coordinator, which is a hall director of the residence halls. She's been here for the last 12 years. Ms. Green will cook dinner for the students. She was a math major. So oftentimes you will see her in the conference room tutoring her residents in math. She's also found time to also be an assistant advisor for the gospel choir, if you've ever heard the gospel choir. So in addition to her hats as wearing the residential director of the university departments, Ms. Green will cook home cooked meals for her students. She tries to make sure that her residents feel a home away from home when they come and live here on campus. So she does go above and beyond. You know, she cooks lunch for the entire staff. Sometimes we have rice and gravy and smothered chicken for lunch. So those are the little things that make our students feel a home away from home. And we try to do that for all the students, and all of my staff would do that. Her nickname is Mama Mia. That's her line name. She just played Zeta, but you know, I'm AK, but that's okay. But I just wanted to acknowledge her works and all of the works that we do in residential life and housing, because sometimes it does go unnoticed from our staff, and I want to tell them thank you. And I also want to thank you all for all of the support that you all give us throughout the year. Ms. Green? It is an honor and a privilege to receive this award. And I want to thank my boss, Ms. Tracy Abraham, and my supervisor, Ms. Lisa Hammond. And thank you all for just giving me the opportunity to be able to receive this award. Thank you.
All right, thank you again. Next item. Item number 6, we have action items. I'll entertain a motion for action items. A, approval of the minutes, November 2024, 2022. The item B, request for approval of internal audit charter. C, request for approval of audit plan. D, request for approval of internal audit quality assurance and improvement plan. E, request for approval of EAB contract. What is your pleasure on item number 6? Okay, that's a motion in Globo. I take it, okay. The item has been moved and properly seconded by Board Member Williams, moved by Vice Chair. Any questions on the motion? Hear none? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 7, resolutions.
By way of explanation, Chief of Staff Alan Vital is out of town today. He's participating in a prestigious ACE Fellows program, which has taken him out of town. And so Dr. Tracy Taylor Jarrell will do the resolutions.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. January 2023 resolutions. Mr. Joe Terrell family. Mr. Joe Terrell was a native of Shreveport, Louisiana, resident of Baton Rouge. He was the second chairman of the Southern University Board of Supervisors and veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps. He passed away peacefully on Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. Dr. William, lovingly known as Bill Arp III family. Dr. William Arp III attended Allen High School, graduating in 1966. He furthered his educational experiences by obtaining a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from Southern University and A&M College at Baton Rouge. He enrolled at Southern University and obtained a Master's of Arts in Social Sciences and on to Arizona State University, where he obtained a Doctor of Philosophy in Justice Studies. He was a member of Alpha Phi Omega fraternity. He was employed as an assistant professor of political science at Louisiana State University at Baton Rouge for 6 years. He then accepted a position as associate professor at Southern University at Baton Rouge. He remained at Southern University for 22 years, retiring in 2017. While there, he held numerous positions, including chairman and full professor of the Department of Political Science, dean of the Nelson Mandela School of Public Policy and Urban Affairs, and dean of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Dr. William Arp III was the brother-in-law of Mr. McClinton. He passed away on December 22nd, 2022. Mr. Dylan Morgan Young family. Mr. Dylan Morgan Young graduated from Cedar Hill High School in June 2020. His musical passion led him to pursue admission to Southern University, Baton Rouge. He played in the Human Jukebox Marching Band. He was a standout student as a junior, majoring in mechanical engineering. He was a recipient of various scholarships, one being the Southern University Board of Supervisors Academic Scholarship. He was a role model for students aspiring to membership in the Human Jukebox. He passed away on December 6, 2022. Mr. Tyron Janier Williams family. Mr. Tyron Janier Williams was a 2021 graduate of Ranch View High School. He was a current student at Southern University in Baton Rouge. He was in the percussionist section in the Human Jukebox Band. Because of his generous spirit and love for percussion and the culture, he mentored and assisted in various bands. He passed away on December 6, 2022. Mr. Broderick Moore family. Mr. Broderick Moore graduated from Cedar Hill High School. He was a current student at Southern University, Baton Rouge. He was a dedicated tuba player. He would eat, sleep, and breathe band. Broderick was a member of the Human Jukebox. He passed away on December 6, 2022. Judge Fred Tinsley Jr. family. Judge Fred Tinsley Jr. was a graduate of Southern University, earning a BS in political science. Fred continued his time at Southern University Law School to pursue his Juris Doctor and become the founding editor of Res Nova, the forerunner of the current Law Center publication. He was well known and well respected by his peers. In 2011, he was inducted into the Southern University Law Center Hall of Fame. He passed away on November 10th, 2022. That concludes the resolutions for January 2023.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taylor Jarrell. What's your pleasure? Entertain a motion to approve the resolutions.
So moved.
Properly moved by Board Member Shorty and seconded by Board Member Smith. Any questions? Hear none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 8. Yes, sir.
Move on to that. I did want to take this opportunity to recognize the New Orleans Police Chief, Ms. Michelle Woodfork. Ms. Woodfork is the first woman to lead the New Orleans Police Department. She's been working for NOPD for 31 years, and she is a graduate of Southern University at New Orleans. She follows another graduate, the good close friend of mine, Chief Sean Ferguson, who is also a graduate of Southern University at New Orleans. Just wanted to take that opportunity to recognize her as being the first African-American woman to lead the police force and a Southern graduate.
Thank you so much. Very worthy of being noted. Okay. Information items, Mr. President, item 8, presidential report.
Thank you, Chairman Lawson, and thank you to the members of the Board of Supervisors. I'll try to be expeditious in my remarks. I'll start with a report on something I know that is high priority, and that's the search for the new chancellor at Southern University at Shreveport. The committee reports to me that they've narrowed it down to 14 individuals, all of whom responded affirmatively to the a request to interview them virtually. Those virtual interviews will take place January 11th and 12th via Zoom. You can imagine the kind of work that committee is going to have to do to squeeze those in that day. They will choose a top 5 individuals from that to move forward to a final interview stage. The interviews are expected to take place on the Sussex campus January 25th and 26th, at which point they will send 3 finalists forward for consideration on my part and the part of the board. So that's an update on that search. Number 2, it's hard to remark about. I have to, as president, have to say that how profoundly the loss of those students in that car accident in December, and in the intervening weeks, we've lost at least one more student tragically. It's the most painful part of being associated with the university, is the loss of those young lives. Number 3, you will, members of the board will receive electronically, because we don't print a lot of these, but this is a capturing of the Southern University system legislative priorities this year. And I would make the observation, not just the capital projects, but all of our requests that we've thought through have been submitted timely. Earlier in December, we had a meeting with at least a significant portion of the Legislative Black Caucus, and thanks to my chancellors and other leadership on the university for being present for that. It is hard to express the gratitude they had for getting this sort of information to them well ahead of the legislative session. It includes all our capital projects and all the other requests. I will forward this electronically to you so you can see what was presented to them. Of course, it is a bit of a moving target because as you move along, other things become priorities. I'd make a couple of observations about this that are relevant to things you heard earlier this week. There is very strong legislative support for moving the lab school project forward. And the senior leadership in the Black Caucus and the chair of the Education Committee in the Senate are very strong advocates for that. There's also a big, because of where the state budget is now, opportunities beyond that. I would tell you that one of the main things I'm going to push on the capital side is more money for deferred maintenance. The building we sit in has a $1.5 to $2 million need to fix externally and fix leaks and that kind of thing. You will note that we didn't have the reception in the Wade House last night because pipe spraying leaks, and now it appears the roof is leaking. And all this is a result of deferred maintenance and representative of a lot of things across the campus. So I'm going to be pushing for significantly more deferred maintenance, as will SUNO and SUSLA. Of course, if all else fails, the Law Center has money to fund all those projects.
Absolutely.
Number 4, just sort of a fun thing that happened. I was invited by Apple, an alum that works for them, to come to the Celebration Bowl, and I met with a couple of donors. But the sidelight of that was at that bowl, they host the SWAC Hall of Fame. And I got to meet Ricky Weeks, who was inducted into the SWAC Hall of Fame. He's a wonderful, I can call him a young man because of my age, but wonderful young man who, as I read about his record at Southern, he had almost 500. For those of you who don't know baseball, that means every time he came to bat, he hit the ball hard somewhere. And that's just astounding. And had a fabulous career with the Milwaukee Brewers. I would close by thanking my senior leadership on the campuses, starting with Provost Sahu and Chancellor Pierre and Chancellor McMeans and Chancellor Peen and Chancellor Ammons. Over the first 6 months of my time here, I think they've done a remarkable job. One of the ways you can tell things are going well or not is how many fires you have to put out other places. I think they've done a remarkable job. At the end of the day, it'll be the end of the year before we see how the student outcomes, which is my primary concern over time. But I think they're doing extraordinary work. Lastly, I'd like to make special mention of the Law Center and Chancellor Pierre. I come out of the Legal Academy, and I don't think there's another school in the country that's had as profound an impact on the bar in this state as Southern University Law Center, but also is so effective at creating opportunities for their students that are outside the norm of law schools like this. I mean, the students that are coming out of Southern Law Center are getting exposure to the same sorts of opportunities as the graduates at Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and places like that. And that is a commitment to and a focus on what your real mission is. You heard a presentation this morning, and that's part of what happens. Those law firms that were mentioned are international law firms that are now spending a week at a time on our campus, exposing our students to those sorts of opportunity. And I mention this because this is an exemplar of how we ought to be challenging our whole university system to lead. I know those efforts are in place, but it's worth noting that leadership out of the Law Center is having a profound impact. So I will pause there because we're already past where my new chairman told me the meeting would end.
Well, I didn't say you had to end it there. My dad is a Baptist preacher, and I used to think church should end at 12:30 too. Boy.
I had a question, Dr. President.
Yes,
Mr. President. graduation basketball games, I'm noticing that our scoreboard in the auditorium is not working, the sound is not working, that board is analog, digital. It's considered multi-purpose. So I know funding issues, we have to look at where the budget and where the money would come from. But since that building is not just used for basketball, is there potential for us to find funding from other sources to help get that up to par? Because we use that for multiple things. And I know the sound is just not that good. That scoreboard is terrible. And if you were standing behind the stage during the graduation, you really couldn't hear what was being said. So
Okay.
maybe not a
Noted.
question, but more something to look into. And see
Noted.
if we can find funds and get that going. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Whitfield. Item B, Chancellor's report. Chancellors. Dr. Almonds.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, President Shields, and I too want to say welcome back to board members Reeves and Smith. Congratulations on your reappointments, and welcome to our new board members, Gaines and Matthews. And I look forward to working with you as all of us across the Southern University system. You all may have heard me talk about this vision that we have at SUNO of the university being one of the nation's leading urban universities. And we have selected critical measures for urban life that we would address, that we would begin addressing. Areas like educational attainment, especially for African-American males, health inequalities, and of course, crime. And we have begun a very strategic partnership with St. Aug High School in New Orleans, which is an all-male high school, where we are focusing on the area of criminal justice. One of the things that we found, Chairman Shorty, is that many of the officers of the New Orleans Police Department are graduates of St. Aug. And by the way, you stole my thunder. I was going to talk about Superintendent Woodfork being a graduate of Southern University at New Orleans. But there is a long tradition of St. Aug graduates being a part of New Orleans Police Department. And we have begun a partnership with them where we will offer scholarships to the young men, young graduates of St. Aug High School to come to Southern University at New Orleans to study criminal justice and psychology. And the deal is they will graduate from the university and they would go on to the New Orleans Police Department. We are also going to offer continuing education and advanced degrees in criminal justice to members of the New Orleans Police Department as a part of this relationship that is growing between the university and the city of New Orleans, and in particular, NOPD. And although my report is in the packet, there's one other thing that I want to highlight. Tomorrow morning, the university will host the Devoted Dreamers Academy. This academy was founded last year by DeMario and Tamala Davis. DeMario Davis's name may be familiar to many of you, but for those who are not familiar with him, he is an all-pro linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. And he started this academy to focus on especially African-American males and their individual learning styles, their strengths, their limitations, their passions, and their pursuits. And the university is going to partner with this academy. And again, we will host the open house for the academy on our campus tomorrow morning. And we will be joined by founding trustees such as Ms. Gail Benson and members of the New Orleans Saints football team, to include Alvin Kamara, Jarvis Landry, Cam Jordan, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Drew Brees, Jameis Winston, Malcolm Jenkins, Mark Ingram, Marshawn Lattimore, Michael Thomas, Taryn Armstead, and Tyron Matthew. And we look forward to working with the Academy to again address one of the areas of critical focus, not only for our university, but for this nation, the educational attainment of African-American males. So, Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. We appreciate the report. Dr. Penning, Southern University, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To our newly elected chairman, the Honorable Mr. Myron Lawson, to our newly elected vice chairman, the Honorable Dr. Whitfield, certainly to our immediate past chair, the Honorable Attorney Edwin Shorty, President Shields, colleagues, faculty, staff, students, alumnus, I want to say good morning to you. At Southern University at Shreveport, we certainly enjoyed a banner year in 2022. One of our biggest high points was our 55th celebration that took place on November 17th, where the university celebrated 55 years, but more importantly, recognized a lot of the founding individuals, faculty, administrators who helped to make SUSLA what it is today. And it was a packed house. I want to thank our very own, our committee chair, Mr. Sam Gilliam, who was present, for making the occasion really special. And especially want to acknowledge and thank President Shields, who had a very busy week that week. He spent that evening with us and then was in New Orleans the following day for an event at SUNO. So we want to thank everybody for that. I use the word a banner year because in 2022, one of the outcomes that President Shields speaks about, one of them is enrollment. And you heard that with the laboratory school. In 2022, fall of 2022, SUSLA recorded an enrollment of 3,199 students, of paid students. That number represented the highest enrollment in the last 6 years of the university, but in historical terms, that was the third highest enrollment in the history of that institution. And that's because of the work of our faculty and staff. And when we disaggregated the numbers, it wasn't just headcount enrollment. We experienced a 19% increase in dual enrollment. And that's a testament to the working with our local high schools. We went from 911 students to over 1,000 dually enrolled students. Enrollment growth was seen in continuing students, new first-time freshmen, and the metric that really touched me was transfer in enrollment. For once, we're not seeing students leaving SUSLA, we're seeing students coming back from other institutions to Southern University at Shreveport. Very proud of that fact. And it's no surprise as I look at today's enrollment report, the strategies that were put in place by the faculty and staff are resonating in the beginning of the spring semester. As of today, we have 1,885 registered students, which compares to the same time last year to 1,495 students, an increase of 390 registered students, or in percentages a 26% increase as of today. SUSLA, ladies and gentlemen, your community college in Northwest Louisiana is on the move. I want to close with a piece that touches academics, and it's accreditation. In this past year, we had several at SUSLA. Our allied and health programs are the bread and butter of our programming over there. 56% of our students matriculate in our nursing and allied health programs. So it's no surprise to the work of those faculty, our phlebotomy program, the nursing program, health information technology, the radiologic technology program, and the surgical technology programs were all reaffirmed with no findings for durations between 7 to 10 years going through almost 2030. Once again, a testament to our faculty and staff. They watch these proceedings, and I want to publicly acknowledge their work today. Ladies and gentlemen, the rest of the report is in your package. I will pause here for the sake of time, and I want to say thank you so much for your support for your community college in Northwest Louisiana. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Penning. It's really admirable you've been able to keep all those balls in the air, and we often forget that you have a job up here too. So thank you for what you're doing. Dr. McMeans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Also, President Shields and honorable board members. I have only a couple of items. The first is legislative in nature. As of the last legislative session, what came out of that was a Senate resolution in which the two land grant institutions, specifically the ag centers and the colleges of ag, would work together and also present to the legislature on the various programs in order for us to receive additional resources to, I guess, make our programs more successful. And it goes back to, I guess, about 2012 or so, when both of the ag centers and colleges of ag personnel shrank. And so we're trying to work together to get those numbers up. We were contacted right before Christmas. There was a joint committee created, House and Senate Agriculture, that we report to, and they are planning to come to campus this month. Most of the individuals a part of that joint committee has never been on Southern's campus. So they want to actually tour our facilities. They want to hear from our senior staff, senior faculty. And as Dr. Walker said, because we have a road that is not in good shape as you go to Experiment Station, we want to make sure they feel the bumps on that road because we do have a request in there to repair that road, some one-time funding. And so I talked to President Shields and also Dr. Merrick, and we want to make sure that we maximize that opportunity of having that type of committee come on campus for the first time. We should take advantage of that to provide them with additional information on our needs. So we look forward to that, and I'll keep you informed. The other item is the upcoming 80th annual livestock and poultry show. There was a misprint in the publication, and there was an error, and it's supposed to have clinic. So we actually have a clinic, and that took place earlier. And we're going to have the poultry show, livestock and poultry show, March 2nd through the 4th, 2023. This is our 80th anniversary, so we're excited. We renovated some facilities. We have a new parking lot. So we're getting ready for that. We invited all of the 1890 institutions as it relates to their extension and research and deanships. And we're going to have a lot of activities going on. We're going to have a couple of luncheons, and we're inviting some dignitaries to one in which I'm definitely looking forward to. And I know you are too, Mr. Chairman, and that's the one that's called Boots and Bling Gala. I'm certain that that's going to be a heavy hitter, and we'll have a lot of other events. But the main target of this, I found out livestock or youth. We work with youth, and it's great to see those young people learn and be competitive at the same time. So we're looking forward to that, and you will start receiving more information on that in the upcoming weeks. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. McMeans. Always something exciting going on over there. So keep it going. Keep it going. Dr. Vice Chair Dr. Ronnie Whitfield said you said nothing about cannabis, but we'll move on anyway. Chancellor of the Law Center, Dr. Pierre.
Yes, sir.
Chancellor Pierre.
Again, Happy New Year to everyone. And Chairman Lawson, congratulations. And Chairman Shorty, proud of you. Yes, sir. We have a few things, so I'm going to go over them real quickly. You all should have the invitation for Judge Gidry's investiture. So we would like for you, there's going to be a public investiture on the 15th, which is Martin Luther King's birthday, a Sunday at the Law Center, and then there's going to be one at the court, I believe it's on the 18th. So please, if you can, come and join one of the two events. Our mid-year commencement is going to be January 21st of 2023. That's a Saturday at 10 a.m. at the F.G. Clark Activity Center. So we do a mid-year commencement for a lot of the students that are evening or part-time students who take a little longer than 3 years, and it keeps growing. And we're going to have another a record group this year coming up. So we're looking forward to that. And as the speaker for the commencement will be Judge Guidry. We have a number of expungement events, and I know that this has become probably one of the items that we get most calls about. This has really moved a lot of things going on. So the expungement events allow for a lot of people who have minor items in their records to get those items removed and move them to better workforce opportunities, career opportunities, licensure opportunities. And actually, it opened the door. I think she's still here. Tony Weaver, please stand. Mayor Meyer. So we actually, because of this, you all have allowed us to hire someone who really understands workforce development. And you would say, well, what the heck is a law school doing in workforce development? We learned that we're in the workforce development business. And so we wanted to get someone in that really could help us raise the level of what we were doing. We were finding that we were getting resources from a lot of different places, and we found a sweet spot, and so she will help us be able to do that. And I thank the board for approving her appointment as the Assistant Vice Chancellor in the Office of Innovation and Special Projects and Special Initiatives and Special Partnerships. On the 31st of the month, we will get a visit from the American Bar Association president. The mid-year ABA conference is going to be held in New Orleans that week. And so the ABA president has confirmed that she will come and visit the Law Center and speak to students and faculty. And many of you are all of you are welcome if you want to meet the ABA president. She's very excited about coming to Southern. Monday, we start classes. And in addition to the classes we have here, we actually have a second cohort of the semester in Shreveport group. So in March, when we visit Shreveport, we'll try to maybe get the board to see what we're doing in Shreveport and meet the students and what they're learning and the opportunities for internship, externships, and how that is bringing something different to the Shreveport area. So we look forward to highlighting that in our March meeting in Shreveport. I think that according to it's also board retreat, so that would give us an opportunity to talk about that. And once again, I just kind of want to thank the board for really supporting everything we do at the Southern University Law Center, particularly with the vote on the insurance piece, because for the first time, we actually have someone who's duly appointed in the Law Center and the School of Business. He is an insurance expert. We were very fortunate to get him out of the University of Connecticut, but we're really pushing something that's really, really different. And you ought to hear the excitement that's out there in this nation for Southern University, the Southern University system. You just ought to hear it. And the opportunities are there. And one of the things that we learned, Dr. Andrews and I, is that more insurance companies want to join in with Alliant. So we see this as really being a signature program in the Southern University system. And it's an important program. So again, we thank you for your faith in us and allowing us to do the thing. Sometimes I know on some of these votes, like with the Insurance Institute, when you voted for that several months ago, you didn't know where this thing was going. But we bring it full circle. So again, you'll see great results. Thank you.
Another an award.
That's what they tell me. I had never heard of the award.
You didn't know it. I just ruined it for you. So what is that award again? Will you help me out? I was trying to
it is a award that's been around for about a dozen years, and it's called the 10 most dominant leaders in HBCUs. It's
let's give him a round of applause. I thought I saved it. I may have deleted it because I was doing a little research, And I looked at the board and nobody on there last name is Pierre. So I was very impressed with that. Thank you so much. You always make us proud. So congratulations. And now the issue, BR, Southern University of Baton Rouge, Dr. Sahu, Vice Chancellor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and Vice Chairman, congratulations. Please accept our appreciation from the Southern University Baton Rouge campus. Our Edwin Shorty, honorable member and past chair, thank you so much for everything that you have done for us and your continuing leadership, and the same also to distinguished board member, member of the Board of Supervisors, Ann Smith and Christy Reeves. Thank you. I want to acknowledge the President Chancellor's leadership, a change I want to begin with in terms of he clearly stated that it is all about student success. It's all about measurable student outcomes, and that's our highest priority. And he made sure that we achieve that by being operationally efficient and also providing good customer service. And it has sunk in, and that's exactly our commitment. So as a part of that process, the President, who also serves as the Chancellor of the Baton Rouge campus, asked the Provost's office to coordinate the work of the Vice Chancellors. The way the President provides this leadership, amazing how he changes hats in the same day. He coordinates the leadership at the system level at 10 o'clock on Monday, and 3 o'clock, he convenes a meeting of the senior leaders at the Southern University Baton Rouge campus, where he's also the Chancellor, at 3 p.m. I'm grateful that I have an opportunity to attend both and to learn in terms of the system initiatives where I assist him as Chancellor, but also remain committed to the strategic initiatives and the main outcome in terms of student success at the Southern University Baton Rouge campus. On Tuesday, I meet with him one-on-one, try to understand and brief him about the initiatives, and I've really benefited. Every meeting has been a learning opportunity. And for that, I'm grateful. On Wednesday, I convene the Vice Chancellors. And I want you to know, why I'm saying this is because when I met and I expressed what we are trying to do, what the President's intention is, unanimously all the Vice Chancellors said that this is really something that unintended gain from this, to see how interdependent we are. You know, in the past, we may have been academic affairs, finance, student affairs, enrollment management, research, but we have now a realization how interdependent we are in order to further the student success agenda, priority mandate at our institution. We exist because our students and their academic needs and their professional needs and placement needs. I want to transition to accreditations. Many times you heard about accreditation. We use accreditation at our campus to provide you and the other stakeholders a quality assurance. These are voluntary accreditations where they're led by peers at other institutions to say that what you're doing meets standards, but sometimes they say how you can be better. And we are always receptive of the comments we get, the way we can be better than we are. And that also, accreditation is a way also to demonstrate our commitment to continuous improvement. We do well, but there is always that opportunity to do better. Because if you continue to do the same way, I think we'll fall behind. I want to recognize that, this semester, early in the year, I want to make you aware that a significant 3 accreditation reviews are underway. The School of Business, the College of Business, is going to be reviewed for the AACSB accreditation review in the month of March. The College of Nursing and Allied Health will be hosting peer reviews in the areas of speech language pathology and also mental health counseling, which will be an initial accreditation. We're able to combine mental health counseling with rehabilitation counseling, and so now we are trying to get both the programs accredited as a way to show that our students and our faculty and our initiatives meet the needs of the market. This is an opportunity to also recognize, it's there in the package. I just want to try to say new things, but it's in your package to recognize 2 deans. Dean Sandra Brown from the College of Nursing and Allied Health, was recently named the Nursing School Administrator of the Year. This is significant because this nomination is by the faculty, and this is a statewide recognition, and I want you to join us in recognize her effort and the distinction that she has brought to Southern University in terms of the investment that you have seen, the recognition of the nursing program statewide. I also would like to recognize Don Andrews, who was initially appointed to the initial accreditation committee at the AACSB board, but subsequently in a few months, based on the work and based on everything that he has done over his career, now has been nominated and appointed a member of the AACSB national or global accreditation board. And that's a significant achievement and brings positive recognition to Southern University Baton Rouge campus and our system. You heard about Southern University Lab School. One area the president has asked us, I want to commend the leadership that Mr. Bristow is providing there and everything good that is happening. But the president is very aware and has made us aware that we don't wait for the students to come to our campus. We actively seek them. One of the things that I feel like we are a best kept secret in the state, in this town and also in the state. And so I'm making a commitment that I'll energize the deans, and I will myself be more available to meet the students where they are, so that Baton Rouge Lab School students choose to come to our campus, and all the area schools and the schools in the state see Southern University as a great opportunity to further the academic needs of the students enrolled there and their families. I want to end by saying something we are doing. It's much better now. We are meeting in person, but we never know when again we might have some challenge that we will not be able to provide instruction face to face. So I want to make you aware that we are maintaining all three modes of instruction. At least the faculty is qualified to provide instruction, whether it is face to face, whether it is hybrid, which is a synchronous, where the faculty is at a particular place but meeting with the students using Zoom or Microsoft Teams, but also asynchronous online. And so as a way to do this, we are providing extensive professional development to our faculty. All faculty who are assigned to teach online or hybrid have to have professional certification by way of Quality Matters to be able to teach these courses. So that's a directive from my Chancellor President, and that's how we ensure that the quality of instruction is available to our students. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. President, Chancellors, and the board to be able to serve our great university. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sahu. That was a very informative report. We appreciate you sharing, and I certainly am proud of Dr. Brown and our very, very distinguished dean and the School of Business. Is a business. We have one of the few programs that's nationally recognized. You can judge a good business school by the products. And I don't need to tell you that our products are second to none. And Dean Andrew has been very instrumental in making it the success it is today. We'll move to item 10. Not yet. Any other business? Item 9 needs to come before the Southern University Board of Supervisors. If not, I want to say before we close that I appreciate everyone again, and thank you again, Chairman Shorty. I also would like to wish everyone in here and your family a very, very healthy, happy, and prosperous new year. And with that being said, I'll entertain a motion for number 10. Motion to adjourn has been made, considers adjourned. And remember, we need to take our pictures in the back for IDs, board members, before you leave. Take your pictures and your IDs before you leave. Safe travels back to your homes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.